Howdy folks, it's episode 85 of my blind RS3 Ironman playthrough today. Still working on getting the Blessed Flask. I just need the AFK. I mined all the sandstone, now I need to bless all 40,000 fine sand. Pretty much just doing desperate measures in this quest, which is another kind of a stinker. I have a lot of thoughts on the quest and about Karapak as a villain afterwards, so stay tuned for that, I suppose. And then doing 3 really quick, they're called quests, but they're not quests. They're not even really mini quests. They're like quick tasks. So I didn't bother making any sort of summary for them. Let's get to it. Pretty funny. I just got the prayer pet. What pets do I not have is actually an easier question at this point. I don't know why Jack of Blades keeps unlocking. I think it's confused. I have 21 skilling pets. That's crazy. All right, next quest is Desperate Measures, the sequel to Desperate Times, so not too pumped about that. I have to say that the names of the quests are smart, but that's like the only kind thing I can really say. We gotta go talk to Saren in the Burthorpe Castle. Here we go. This place still like full of people. Yeah. All right, what are we doing? Because this quest is the introduction of archaeology, so that's kind of cool. I like archaeology. If only someone had spoken up about his inevitable betrayal. Do I not recognize Garlandia? Oh, an angel with no wings. I love how it doesn't really matter who has any of these lines here. Ma's gifted me my aura. It compels them to trust me, to need me. Oh, okay. Ugh. That sounds worrying. Maybe you should just leave, Saren. Maybe you being here is pointless. Okay. Thok and Charos. I wonder why they're uplifting Thok specifically. Probably because he's very popular. I love that Zanuck is just here, right? It's like, is she in charge of Soul Wars or what? I don't care. I want to know his plan. All right, so this is after the release of Anachronia, which is relatively new to the game. This is in like the last 5 years. Hi there. Desperate Measures. Sounds like the two of them. Charos is gonna kill Thok? Okay. Where are we going? Dragonkin ruins north of the base camp. They're all the way down here. I see them. You're gonna pet me again. I will enchant you so you think you're a duck. Really don't like Charos. I don't think he's well established at all. Thok's built an immunity to knives. Sure. Thok's Little Saga. Ooh. Explore the island, okay. No, I'm not trying to leave. Oh, Charos is like cowering. Pretty funny. This is good, actually. I like this. 999,999. They weren't that big. Less enormous, but still a lizard. All right, this shit is good. I know I complained about Desperate Times, but there is something slightly redeeming in this quest, at least. Taking themselves a little bit less seriously. Seeing scrawny Charos, that's great. Instant kill. Explored. Shut up, Charos. I do care about Thog. I want the quest to be about this. Oh, I didn't realize Anachronia was literally ripped out of time by Carapac. Okay. Punching bag lizard. Tiny lizard thinks it's special. Okay. I know it keeps prompting me to leave. The Dragon Kings. Dragon Kin. How are you alive? Shut up, Charos. They're not doing a good job of, like, endearing me to Charos by having him hate Thok and be annoyed by Thok. Okay. Lanikia the Magnificent. Nice. Thok and Pretty Lass are taking a break. Something's not meant to be. Two different worlds, quite literally. My Thok, you have so many muscles. I am impressed by your mighty beard and impressive musky odor. We, of course, never said that. It's nice to dream sometimes. All right, I'm glad at least Thok gets to be Thok in this quest. That's something I really was annoyed by in Desperate Times, that he's like here, but not doing anything. He's like a... Thok sometimes struggle with words with magnificent women. No, not my teeth. Shut up, Charos. No, duh. Obviously. Okay. Keep this silly tone, and I'm fine with this Carapac stuff. Base isn't the volcano the most obvious place in this island or an evil villain lair? What do you know about this island? I know it's Fossil Island. Not much. Would like to know. Earthen. You've made quite the name for yourself in the Archaeology Guild. Yeah, no kidding. What do you know about Anachronia? Esreldo, I heard all the theories on Fossil Island. Okay, so Fossil Island was replaced with Anachronia. That's interesting. That's a cool idea. Because then you do old school RuneScape and you go there and it is Fossil Island, and so it's the ruins of Orthen instead of like Orthen at its peak, I guess. What do you know about the Dragonkin? Even the gods feared them. Okay. Where are we going now? Excavation sites near the volcano lab entrance. Okay. Because I don't need any gear for this, or do I need to go get all my archaeology stuff here? I'll get my archaeology stuff really fast. Hold on. There we go. Dragonkin device damaged. So 50 worth in glass. That's pretty doable. You're an archaeologist, so archaeologize. Okay. Okay, restored. We go do the other one now. Yep. Okay, not very helpful. One that just spawned behind him. Sure. All right, looks we got to restore it again. I think this time I'll just teleport to Sherigan. It's pretty close to the table, I think. All right, restoring this guy. All right, what's the deal with this? Another useless dead end. The last Dragon Rider. Till he wasn't. All right. He's got a spy network too. Okay. Very clearly inspired by Game of Thrones. Little spiders, though, instead of birds. I think that bringing Hannibus back was incredibly stupid and pointless, and undercut One of a Kind, which is a pretty good kind of standalone quest in the Slisgaze game series. Here he is. What's up, Hannibus? I decided to spend more time in Kalinor. All right, man. However long you're going to stay here. Sumi has a unique understanding of the Dragonkin? Multiple Dragonkin casts. Necrocerts and the Dactyl. They brought this word up in Desperate Times. Tried to sleep through the curse. Okay.
Northeast Anachronia, so I can probably teleport up near there. Had to look it up. It's these ruins down here, so bit of a hike. I'll go there now. Okay, so do I have to go inside? Sure. Is Hannibus here somewhere? I don't see him. I'm gonna Google it. Oh, he was hiding around the back. Okay, I see him. What's up, bud? Wait, this feels like this is relitigating things he just talked about? Huh. Wonder if that's like an editing mistake. Try that on the door. Okay. What are we doing in here? Hibernation chambers? Okay. Oh, they've got like a matrix thing going on? Why can he do that? Sure. Okay. Yeah, why not? Well, the dragon can definitely look better now. Just waiting for something to happen here. Oh, I remember these. We had to do stuff with this to be able to get the shortcut teleports before. It was very confusing. I guess now it makes sense if it's supposed to be connected to this quest. U-A-E, it looks like. Is that what we're doing here? We need to do something still. Okay. Now I can leave. Disconnect from the dream. Why does Hannibus have that power? Oh, it actually gives me a symbol number. I don't have to remember what it looks like next time. Okay. We can go somewhere now. I guess. I don't know what changed when I did that there. Disable the barriers in the lower chamber by entering a dragonkin passcode into the pylon. They still don't seem to be able to walk down there. Oh, I'm gonna look this up. Start the dream again. This time, follow the other dragonkin outside. Okay. To wait for him to walk out there. What a boring matrix. The matrix looks just like the real world. Yes. Take your time, buddy. Epin Charon. Is that it? Basically, I've learned the way in. Is that it? Come back here in, I guess, the future is how I should understand this, because this is like a memory. I'm gonna go back and talk to Hannibus. Go back to the door now, I assume. Sure. Okay. Epin Charon. What is... I don't understand what Hannibus's power set is. He seems to be in tune with the Matrix. He seems to be able to learn whatever he needs to learn for the story to move forward. I'm going somewhere here. Oh, there he is. All right. Doing this again. Oh, more fucking council scenes. Like whenever we see 12 different Majorat talking to each other. Okay. Tired of these council scenes. Original name before they appended Necro to it. Okay. Shadow Animak. It is okay. They just like relive stuff that actually happened over and over. It's a really boring Matrix.
The dragon
here we
king
go.
of the dactyl were well regarded for their scientific prowess, and none were as renowned as Carapac. It was to riotous applause that Carapac unveiled his latest invention, a device he promised would spark a new dawn of Dragonkin science, a machine capable of generating limitless power by flooding the world with corruption. The possibilities were endless. He believed that with power of this scale, the Dragonkin would rival the creators themselves. Pride precedes a fall. Before Carapac could celebrate his creation, the Elder God's displeasure was made known. Jazz, the eldest of them, laid waste to the Dragonkin cities.
Hard for me to accept that that's
In
pronounced like
months,
jazz.
The work of centuries was undone, and the Dragonkin fled in terror. Jazz bound the Dragonkin to the Catalyst, an elder artifact of great power.
I like the concept art. The idea of showing off their concept art now in
gods,
these new cutscenes is
and
cool.
their
But
wish was granted. Pride precedes a fall.
okay. Hey, what's up, guys? Get that with Charos and Thok, we're trying to do like a comedy duo straight man thing, but I don't know, it doesn't work for me. You seem to just be like contradicting Thok constantly. The utility of hope. The fact that we're doing like councils of characters of various allegiances again just feels like this is our main idea. It's just the Majorat again, but now they're dragons. Fight me if you must. All right. 5 million HP, huh? That's even more HP than Thok had. Is he not supposed to be damageable? Alright, yeah, I'm very impressed with you no-selling my attacks. What is this, professional wrestling? What a cool guy. It'd be nice if he was like actually taking damage and then like topping off. Okay. I could do this, but I won't. They're trying to like, see, he's going to sacrifice Gielinor to save all the other worlds. Like, okay. I offer you a gift, the absence of hope. It doesn't really work as a villain motivation for me. They haven't really explained to me why he gives a shit about any other world in the first place. Okay. Charos probably would give up. See, that's funny. All right. Back to talk to Saren. What do you want, Saren? Probably should make all these people leave, right? If they're all just, like, obeying you now. I really don't like them cutting to all the characters weighing in here. I was worried that would be the case. I hate this. I feel like the needle was so interesting when it was kind of like a, you know, yeah, you can go back in time, but there's like an inherent limit to what you're doing, right? You're kind of recreating the same circumstances over and over. And now it's just, now it seems Carapac has unlimited access to time travel now. You can just rewind damage and stuff. Like, what? If that was the case, then the needle skips would have been a really boring quest. Oh, Christ. You gotta keep defiling that corpse, huh? Okay. The Simpsons meme, stop, stop, she's already dead. This poor girl. Ask about the needle. Can the needle be destroyed? Oh my god, are we actually just going to ask her all of these questions? Can she just, like, if you're gonna undo the sad ending, can you just let her live her life with her mother and not involve her in this shit? Ugh. I need to, like, keep track of which questions I'm asking, don't I? All right. Was she vulnerable to anything? Know what my weaknesses were. Okay. Was it like being her? But you didn't. Ugh. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. We done then? Back to Saren. Okay. Back to Saren again. Bring you face to face with the most powerful being in existence. Talk to another god? Okay. Be on your best behavior. Tell me to bring a heart teleport. I have to start outside here. Spoken with my aunt. Stop calling her your aunt. No pressure. Okay. Gonna warp me there. Why does Jazz even, like, bothers to let us talk in the first place? Carapac. You know all this? Can you intervene? No. What good are you then? Not. Toxic substance. Shadow anima. Why do we need to have this new shadow anima concept? Tell me more about the barrier. Our inaction is a kindness. We can remove him if we must. Nope, definitely correct. What is the needle for? Can it be stopped? Yes. Can I assume control? Your nature prevents it, because you're the world guardian or something. Okay. Can you help? Okay. Eye of Joss. What will it do? Oh, well, that's easy. I guess we just had to... Why didn't we do this to start with, Saren? What the hell? Okay. This is even worse than just being at the bidding of the gods, right? Just having Jazz be like, yeah, I'll just fix it. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. Fine. What are we doing here? Oh, good. Saren's quick with that. Nope, here we go. They're trying to make Carapac into this, like, interesting villain. I bear you no ill will. Spend your time with your loved ones, blah, 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 blah. It's not working for me. Okay. Talk to Thok when you're ready. Sure. Your fists are full. Take Thok's stick. It's better. Okay. What are we doing here? It's waves. Okay. Why? Okay. Choose Charos' focus. Oh, I don't want to do this at all. Defending these archaeologists. I'm just going to read the wiki to say what it wants me to do here. Hold on. So it says just leave them in their default positions. Don't do anything. Stand 2 squares west of Tharos and you should be fine. Wonder why they insisted on, like, not just letting me use my normal attacks for this. I think they made this way more complicated than it needs to be. It says that I can just like stand here and be completely fine, essentially. All right. I love Carapac's like, I'm gonna make all the dinosaurs attack you. Okay, that's a thing you can do? Fine. Oh, I don't even get to click on them. I'm also like, it's like tower defense, basically. All right. Music's kind of cool, I guess. This is really boring, so I think in the edit I'm going to edit out most of this. I think you get the idea if you watch the first wave. Most of it's just like waiting for them to walk in here and die to our tower defense turrets. I feel like maybe they did this because they wanted this quest to be doable by any account without having any like levels of combat. So it's really weird as a result. The fact that you just like auto attack this stuff when it walks up to you in melee instead of having to click on them is a very, very odd choice. It's very funny that they imply that there's all this like potential complexity in this of you like telling them all to move and stand different places, but like their default positions are more than good enough to handle it. I don't mind them trying to do a tower defense mission, but it's a very, very weird implementation, to be honest. I didn't even get close to losing here. Is that it? Okay. Take the fight to Carapac. Okay. Where? What? What are we doing? Why? Who? Speak to Charos. Where, though? Well, he went somewhere, so let me try to look up where. Guess he went back north somewhere. That was certainly an experience. That's one way to describe it, yeah. Condemn Carapac. Like, we kind of feel bad that we've turned him into a supervillain here. Cosmic energy, cosmic harmony. Yeah, apparently you don't actually need the measure for this quest. Fate of the Gods isn't required. Wow, how fortuitous. You should be carrying that around on your person. that always makes me laugh. I guess he just gives it to you if you haven't done Fate of the Gods, which feels like a huge continuity mistake, but whatever. There are no prerequisites. I feel like anytime a quest has prerequisites in this game, it's like super hard won. I don't actually know what they wanted me to do here. Use the measure near Charos 4 times in an area surrounding the volcano. Cosmic energy. There's so many different kinds of fucking energy. There's energy, there's anima, there's shadow anima. I don't care. It's so annoying. You need expert hands to do that. Yay, he's an expert magician in addition to being a spy master and a clue scroll guy and inventor. I feel like Charos should have been like, he should have been like the character that introduced invention to the world or something. Build him up a little bit more. You're trying to like sell him very quickly as this like master mage. He's like way more powerful and savvy than anyone at the Wizard's Tower, because we can't do Wizard's Tower people because they're too silly, right? Charos is like super serious and badass and cool. I guess I'm just activating this at locations where Charos happens to be. Okay. Don't care. Anima was a mistake. Please never heavily feature anima in old school RuneScape. It's stupid. It's power level shit, right? It's dumb. Okay, here's the next step. No, I don't care. Place the measure. Okay, some souls are stronger than other souls. Whatever you say, dude. Okay, we got powerful souls, something, something. Place the measure. Why do you look so serious? He's always serious. All right, I have a powerful soul. I'm shocked about that. Okay, back here. What we doing, man? Yep, I'm the World Guardian. What about it? Uh-huh. Manipulation of anima. Blah, blah, blah. Something, something runes. Uh-huh. I've got a different soul. Fantastic. Okay, I hate it. Fucking... Jesus, this stuff sucks so bad, guys. I do not care about my soul containing shadow anima. This is the opposite of storytelling. It is anime power scaling uplifted to narrative. My soul is a carefully constructed enchantment of shadow anima. What does that mean? We don't need to explain my resistance to the power of the gods, right? Gothics gave it to me, whatever. Okay. Okay. But I can uniquely whatever, man. That's... Or I could just go in there, because I'm the... Whatever. Thanks, Doc. Oh, it was here the whole time? Okay. Alright, I think I'm probably fine to just go in there. All right. Cool orb thing. Presumably what generates shadow anima. What are we doing here? More of these symbol puzzles. Where do I get the right answer, though? More cool electric guitar in the soundtrack. Oh, is that what this is? Can I not just like enter that somewhere? I guess it's too many digits, right? I'm just gonna run around. I'll point out if I find anything cool, I guess. There's the needle. Okay, there's a lectern here with a tablet on it. Okay, what does it do? Alright, I'll read this and let you know what it says. Alright, talking about he's annoyed others adventurers on Anachronia. Use the needle to pull Orthan forward after the Roken curse before his device was destroyed. My anachronistic kin would have opposed me as they did before. Okay. The sleeping Nodon dragon kin are producing anima for him or something. Okay. You cannot imagine how much I hate this. When I've accumulated enough anima from the Nodon, I can inject it into my device to create shadow anima, then feed that directly into the animasphere through the piping in the Bujahapen chamber. The code to switch it off is the names of the destroyers input into the pions, one for each name. Joss, Fool, Wen, Bick. Okay, well, how do I know what everything stands for? Okay, so maybe each of these signs is going to help me get the alphabet, essentially. There's all these different words like Chenrath, Slancross, Bujahepen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's probably Bujahepen because it's just a basic cipher, right? Do we see any letters that appear multiple times? E. Okay, well, that's not Bujahepen because E would show up twice there. 7, 8. 8. Biawara, 7. I feel like that's probably Bujahepen, but that can't be right. Let me see if I can figure out what else it's saying here. Oh, it could be Kalistrak. That is an A. That's also an A. That's a K. That's also a K. So this is Kalistrak. Okay. So Bick. So I know K is the one that looks like a 2. I'll make a screenshot here. So I need to find out what B is somewhere else. I'm guessing they all have unique lengths. Find the other ones. This one's 8 letters long. Could be Chenrath. No, it's got some repeated letters. Slancross, yeah, because there's the Slan, and that kind of looks like an S, so that's Slancross. That doesn't get me Bick, though. Is this one Chenrath? I think so. Chen. Well, that's an A. I think we've learned that elsewhere, so it's not Chenrath. It's Biawara, maybe? It's too short. I think it's supposed to be Chenrath, but I feel like the characters can't be right for that, right? Let me do characters that I definitely already know. So, like, don't know that one. Don't know that one. That's definitely a T, which would make sense if it was Wrath. Maybe the R-A-T-H. Is this like Chanrath, and they screwed up and accidentally made that an A instead of an E? Because the rest of it would hold up if that's Chenrath. Let me just assume that that's right for now. Alright, so this one's only 7 characters long, so it must be Biawara or whatever, yeah. Biawara. Maybe the idea is that there's only one character for every vowel, and that's like not encoded. Oh, I guess... No, they are the same character. I think the vowels are just always the same. This one should be Bujahepen or whatever the hell. To make a really weird word so we could get the letter B, I assume. Bujahepen. It's the only way that makes sense. And I think that is this character is just vowel, basically. Okay. So Buja Heppen was which one? When. So I'll get that here from, let's see, W was under Fiawara. That's one that looks like a spear pointed down. And then that's vowel, so we don't change that. And then N I would get from Chenrath. And actually kind of looks like an N. Here we go. Okay. Well, I have it solved, so I'll just go do the other ones. You get what I'm doing here. This is a much better puzzle than the one in Desperate Times. I hated both the sliding block puzzle and the stupid anima bouncing puzzle in that one. Okay, this one's Bic. Let's do, I think Fool was in the southeast and Jazz is in the northeast. Oh, the click box here is really janky and I've had to cycle it back around now all the way. It's kind of annoying. It's fine though. It's F. I have to get all the way back to get the vowel back here. Here we go. Fool, and then the last one is Joss or Jas. Okay, J is also a 2. I guess some of these are just redundant. Maybe you like know what it means from context or something, so they only have 8 symbols. There we go. All right, let me walk all the way over there. Kind of similar to the walk up to Siriu. It's the Black Stone Dragon, but presumably not very difficult. All right, I took my shit off because of... Made me unequip my gear for the weird tower defense minigame. Usually they even bother with the tower defense minigame. I assume that was like we want to have the appearance of combat without having actual combat. Oh, I can't surge here. Okay. A way for it to take damage again? Is there like a thing I have to do here? Oh, Jesus. Oh, I guess it was just invincible for a little bit there. Alright. Super clear on why, but that's fine. Don't stand in the fire next time. Let me just go ahead and turn on vampirism. In case there's another phase where there's butt fire, because I want to turn on full manual for a quest boss. Hasn't required me to do that so far. But when there's a boss or there's a phase where you can't DPS it. This is a way to get away with not having to make a new boss. There we go. Let me turn this prayer off before it fucks up. Okay, I lost prayer. Trying to save the universe, to save creation. Why do you care about them, though? He's beyond reason. Well. Who is mine? You are mine. Not again. serve us now? Okay. He's stuck following Joss again. Okay. That's it? Oh, I guess it's collapsing. Second time we're doing this little Metroid thing. I don't know how I get out now, right? I feel like I'm just stuck because there's no other exit from that side. Okay. Oh, hey, it's Thok. Thank you, Thok. I don't have the energy to do that again. It's convenient. Okay. Am I gonna die here? Seem to not be able to move. Yeah, I don't have enough time for this. A pretty annoying Metroid sequence, to be honest. Hopefully I don't get blocked again. Maybe I'll get out if I don't. Gonna be like within 1 second though. Fail at the last second. So annoying. Literally there.
Karapak's life was spent fighting to free his people from the Elder God's
Seeing him run's
chains.
kind of funny.
But in his hubris, he succeeded only in chaining himself and the unwitting Nodon. From below, a great shudder rose. The walls of the chamber began to buckle and crumble. A mountain fell on Karapak's device, annihilating it. Karapak and the World Guardian fled the ruins to avoid the same fate. The island of Anachronia was calm and still, blissfully unaware of the rising menace. Then, a gentle rumbling. Slowly, it grew and grew until it felt as if the ground beneath their feet would tear itself apart. The Elder God full cleaved
Oh, hey,
to the
it's
earth,
another Elder God.
and in her rage,
I guess most of them look like
tore the
Jas.
volcano asunder.
And Ma is like an exception.
The Elder Gods were awake. And they were not pleased.
Oh, cool. Okay. Is that it? What was that? Volcano monster ripped the volcano apart? I mean, I guess it was just in the concept art, right? Because I don't think I can see it. Whatever got the Xidier soul, it's not an immediate threat. Fine. I feel like we didn't really get to see Karapak get defeated in a satisfying way. We kind of just like asked Jazz to help, and he did, and so he lost. Again, it doesn't seem like it really matters that I'm here. Okay. Yeah, this is supposed to be something that makes archaeology much easier. So maybe I'll work on getting that later. I don't do a lot of active archaeology right now, but in case I have to do it in the future, I'd like to have it. Go back to Saren. Carapac's lab's destroyed. I didn't want him bound. Use my soul with shadow anima. Okay. Hooray. Might also go ahead and try to get the Remo totem, because that'll make my weekly to reactivate the totems less annoying. Desperate Measures sucks a little bit less than Desperate Times. The best part of these two quests are their names. Everything else about it is kind of bad, though. The opening is my favorite part of the quest. We do a Thok mini-saga where Thok recounts what happened between him and Charos. It's the usual Thok funny stuff. They're trying to do like a comedy duo straight man kind of a thing with Charos to Thok. I feel like it doesn't really work, though. We already know Thok's deal from several quests at this point, that he's an unreliable narrator, and the joke is that the way he views the world is very different from everybody else. The way they're trying to have Charos interact with him is by having Charos constantly, like, contradict him and say, oh, that's not really happening. That's not true. Like, yeah, no fucking shit, man. Like the previous Thok quest, Thok is just goofy and the audience is expected to understand, hey, that's silly. But now we've got this character along for the ride who just keeps saying, oh, the thing he just said isn't actually real. Like, no fucking kidding, man. When you do comedy, when you do improv, you're supposed to do yes and. You're supposed to, like, develop on whatever they said in order to tell a joke. And instead, Charos just shuts down Thok constantly. So, like, Charos' presence never improves the humor of the scene. It always just makes it dumber, like it's being explained to the audience. Anyway, after the opening, which is okay, the quest gets dumber. It's Charos, Thok, and Hannibus. We're trying to stop Carapac, who is now superpowered with the needle or whatever. We learn a little bit about the other tribes of Dragonkin, and we find out that one of the tribes of Dragonkin is in, like, the Matrix. They're, like, in stasis and having a shared simulation dream, but their simulation dream is, like, super boring. They're just basically reliving events that already happened in the past over and over, conveniently for us to view them. It's not surprising that this is what they're falling back on, because this is the same shit as Karshai and, like, the memory mechanic with the Majorat. In fact, there's a scene with a Council of Dragonkin that is basically the same as any Majorat council scene, right? The gist of it is that Carapac is a dick, and he used to be a dick too, and he was trying to, I don't know, investigate shadow anima as a use as a power source. I don't care about anima or shadow anima or any of this stuff. It's not interesting. That's essentially what led to the Dragonkin getting enslaved by Joss. So he used the power of the needle to rip Anachronia out of time. That whole thing makes a little bit more sense now. They let you go to Anachronia without doing any of these quests. So it's kind of nice to actually have the context for why it's here, I guess. I suppose when Megan and Gale are using the needle, it's like a very limited fate can't be avoided time travel mechanic. But when Carapac has it, it's just like a comic book superpower. Like, he can pull islands out from the past, and also, like, there's this annoying scene where you fight him for a minute, and he takes no damage. He just no-sells all of your attacks. And he's like, haha, with the power of the needle, I can rewind your attacks, or whatever. So Carapac appears to be unbeatable. They're trying to do this, like, tragic, ends justify the means savior complex villain with Carapac. I liked him when he was introduced originally in One of a Kind. I thought he was kind of complex and interesting. But here it's like they know what they want to do with him, and rather than spending the time on building that up, they're just like trying to speed run to the good part. They have what I call get to the good part-itis. The motivation they've given Carapac is that he wants to destroy Gielinor in order to save every other world. Right, so that's why it's like, oh, he's not actually a bad guy. I mean, it's bad what he's doing, but isn't it for the greater good? But they need to explain why Carapac gives a shit about these other worlds, right? And then it would be great if we, as the character, had any reason to care about other worlds. We visited, like, 3 of them. One of them was Freneske, which sucks. The other one is Kethsi, which also sucks and is dead. The third one is Tardiad, which by all accounts has 1 NPC in it, which that's fine. I don't expect them to show us an entire world, right? But, like, you gotta, like, get the audience a little bit invested in the stakes here.
But worse than the player not caring about the universe versus Gielinor, it feels like Carapac especially should not care about the universe. Like if there's any world Carapac is going to care about, it's going to be Gielinor. I was talking about this in my Discord with one of my viewers, Bonfire of Gains, and they were making the point that, you're supposed to understand that Carapac is supposed to be like Thanos from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think that's a really good comparison here to explain why Carapac kind of sucks in this quest. So the MCU is not, like a pinnacle of storytelling or something. I think we should consider that stuff to be like the bare minimum. So in the MCU, Thanos works because in Infinity War, Thanos is essentially the protagonist of the story. The reason they made 2 movies is that we need to spend an entire movie building him up and presenting his worldview from his perspective. They do very limply try to do this in Desperate Times with a little bit of flashback toward the end of the quest, and again in Desperate Measures with the council scene, but neither are anywhere near as compelling as like the Infinity War story. The main problem is this. With Thanos, the problem that he's trying to solve is a real problem in the real world that the audience can identify with, right? The idea that there are scarce resources and too many people are fighting over them is a problem that exists without there being an MCU, and one that a human audience can just make sense of. It's a problem that will still be there even if Thanos is defeated. So Thanos' solution to kill half of all life is obviously not a good one, right? You can detail many reasons why that's bad, actually. But in the film, he at least makes the argument, and we see him enacting it manually and how it affects his ideology everywhere else. Now, his goal isn't to kill half of all life on Earth, it's to kill half of all life in the universe, and the films have taken pains to endear us to other people in the universe. We're not just thinking about Earth, so we're also thinking about like the Asgardians and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Without them putting in that work, him saying half of the universe would be meaningless to the audience. We would just assume it means the same thing as half of life on Earth. So in comparison with Carapac, we've got 2 big problems here. One, the problem he's trying to solve isn't a real problem, right? It's not still going to be there even if he's defeated. It's a just introduced by Jagex artificial problem that they invented to force the dilemma that the Elder Gods want to eat the universe. With Thanos, we as the audience can intuit that the problem he's trying to solve isn't going to go anywhere when he's defeated, that there's still nominally going to be a resource scarcity problem. So we want to defeat Thanos despite knowing that the problem will remain unsolved. But with the dilemma that Jagex has created, that the Elder Gods just want to destroy the entire universe, obviously Jagex isn't going to delete their servers and like shut down RuneScape, right? That's not a realistic problem to persist. It's clear they already have some other solution to the Elder Gods in mind that doesn't result in Gielinor being destroyed, and that inherently makes Carapac's solution way weaker and less interesting. Problem 2 is that we don't have any connection to the universe. Like, we as the player don't give a shit about anything except Gielinor. But like I said earlier, it's much worse that Carapac doesn't have any reason to give a shit about the universe. He just kind of has this pure mathematical utilitarian villain archetype that they're trying to speedrun with him. So like, we're meant to understand that he cares about the universe because that's what a utilitarian would do. But like, you gotta show us that he cares, why he cares. Like, you need to do like Infinity War. There has to be a Carapac as the protagonist quest where like, he takes us on a world-hopping adventure and shows us why he cares about all these worlds. Even make it interesting. Show that he also loves Gielinor, or maybe loves Gielinor most of all, so that it feels even more tragic that he's willing to sacrifice it. They got to give you a couple names and faces to think about. So when you think about Gielinor being sacrificed, you're imagining like 4 or 5 characters who are going to get to survive as a result, but they don't really care to do even that. Jagex seems to be writing to a part of the audience who are going to recognize the trope that they're going for and just kind of like accept the buy of the story and fill in the blanks for them. But you got to put in the work to earn it. You can't just say, oh, look, he's like Thanos, get it, and move on. They just want to speed run to the quote-unquote good part where he steals Gale's power and now he's a time god or something. But for me, like, that's not the good part at all. Like, it's like in Infinity War, I don't actually care about the specific mechanics by which Thanos obtains the Infinity Stones. The reason that movie is good is because each of the stones that he gets either involves him personally making a sacrifice or our heroes enduring some kind of forced sacrifice. With Carapac, it's exactly the opposite, right? The mechanism that permits him to become a time god doesn't produce any drama for our characters. In fact, it undoes drama from the needle skips by magically curing Gale and turning her back into Primrose. Imagine that like tragic scene at the end of Infinity War where Scarlet Witch is being forced to kill Vision essentially to get the Mind Stone out, only for Thanos to just show up and like rewind time and get the stone anyway. Imagine if instead Thanos just turned up and magically turned Vision into a real boy, and then Scarlet Witch and Vision went and lived in a cottage and lived happily ever after. It's anti-storytelling, right? It's like the villain can't get a win that costs the heroes nothing and in fact gives the heroes a win. Another thing that I think Infinity War does really well that Jagex doesn't do well here is that Thanos doesn't win because he punches the hardest or because he's the strongest boy. Like, he doesn't get to do the snap at the end of the movie because it's just preordained that he's going to. Our heroes have the chance to stop him and famously fail because of the emotions of one of our characters, Peter Quill. He makes a decision. Doctor Strange makes a decision. They're like knowing sacrifices. He gets the time stone because Doctor Strange intentionally gives it up, and the plot is progressing because of the emotions and the motivations of our characters. They have to make choices to get us to the end of the story. Meanwhile, the way that we beat Carapac in Desperate Measures is so stupid. We find out that he's unbeatable, that he has, he's a time god and can rewind any damage to him. So Saren's like, let's just go ask Joss. Like, maybe Joss can fix it for us. So we talk to Joss, and Joss is like, yeah, sure, I'll fix it. Like, it's very anticlimactic. Here, I'll give you this item. That'll fix it. Now, they had the potential to do something kind of interesting here, but I think they squandered it. What happens is Joss tells you, hey, use this thing on Carapac, and it will, remove his connection to the needle. What Joss doesn't tell you is that it's also going to re-enslave Carapac. They save that for a twist, and I think that that's a mistake, because I think making it a twist removes the interesting human moral quandary element, right? If you knew in advance that using this is going to make him a slave again, then your character can make a decision and decide that it's worth it in the end. But instead of making it an interesting character point that we have to debate with the other people, instead it's saved as a surprise, like oh my god, a twist. He's enslaved again. Isn't that so cruel? It's like, well, yeah, it would be cruel if I intended to do it, but as far as I knew, it was an accident. Oh, you thought you were stopping Carapac's time god powers? Well, guess what, idiot? You re-enslaved him. I bet you feel like an asshole now. And it's like, yeah, Jagex, I might feel like more of an asshole if you made it clear that that was the bargain that I was making with Joss in the first place, instead of saving it for a twist. That's basically the end of the quest. Literal Deus Ex Machina. Josh shows up and says, here, I'll fix it for you, and she does. If I could make one change to anything in this quest, what I would do is I would change Carapac's motivation to, instead of wanting to sacrifice Gielinor to save every other world, I would invert it and say he wants to sacrifice every other world to save Gielinor. I think that's a more realistic problem because, maybe he'll succeed. Maybe we are actually going to destroy every other world. You'd still have to put in some groundwork. We'd have to visit those other worlds so that we know, why it's wrong what he's doing and have some personal stakes for the people who are going to get caught up in that and destroyed in the process. And honestly, if they wanted to be really ballsy with it, they could just do it. They could say, RuneScape's too complicated now. We're going to use this quest line to destroy every other reality and just have the one again. Even if they didn't do that, the fact that that could realistically be their writing aim would make the story feel like there's a little bit more actual peril going on. Anyway, Desperate Measures, didn't like it. Stinker quest, not very satisfying. Further ruins the needle skips. They actually have us go talk to Primrose about the mechanics of the needle and how to stop Carapac from being super powerful. It's so bad. Just leave her alone, guys. Let's move on. I did some mining on my phone to get the Remo Totem middle. I have it now. Let's see. Yeah, it didn't take very long. It was 2 inventories of Luminite. I ended up using a Perfect Juju mining potion to try to get it out of my bank, and it actually did make mining substantially more AFK. I wish I would have had those more for my mining grinds. Let me go place this Remo Totem. All right, building the Remo Totem charging point. Here we go. And then I guess I'll just try to restock these because I think some of these resources might matter more now that doing quests that were released around Anachronia. I've just been accruing these resources with nothing to spend them on for years and years. I haven't been using my clue totem forever because I don't do clues and it's so far across the world. But now I can just activate this once a week and it's right next to the lodestone. So that's a mild time save. Okay, so I guess I have to uncover the soil here. Might end up needing... Oh wait, I don't know if that's right. Because I think I need to be level 90 for this. Unless if one of them is level 90. Hold on. Oh, this one's level 90. All right. Okay, I got the first thing. I'm going to need a few more porters here so I don't have to leave. I don't think there's a material deposit anywhere nearby. I'll make a couple more. We'll get the level 71. Okay, I got these 2 artifacts. I think I just have to restore them and then combine it with the Cosmic Focus. Kind of funny because these are just the 2 items you make during Desperate Measures. But I guess higher level now or something.
These are supposed to go to Giles and Anachronia. I guess he has one archaeology collection. It's basically just this. Okay, so there's the Cosmic Pyramid. And I use that on the Cosmic Focus. Yes. Here we go. Now I have a Cosmic Accumulator, which just goes in your inventory and makes archaeology more AFK, I guess. Because it would have been nice to have that, 58 million archaeology XP ago, but whatever, it's fine. Making good progress here with this Blessed Sand. More than 3/4 done. I'm going to go do these quests really fast. I think they're all pretty quick. Sins of the Father, Desperate Creatures. I think these used to not even be quests, and then they up jump them to quests. I don't think I need to bring anything for any of them. Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to go in this. It's funny that there's a quest called Sins of the Father in this. It's very different from the one in Old School. This one, I think, unlocks an effigy activity, which would have been great if I wasn't maxed. Hey, what do you do? Defeat that terrible Mr. Carapac? Okay. Liza and Alpheus. Spotted Carapac? Okay. You were completely safe. At least one of them ate my thesis. Okay, near his lab. Okay, Wiki says I'm supposed to get a pop-up on my way down here somewhere. Is there anything down here that looks out of place? Check to see if there's anything around here that's out of place. Okay. This thing? Closer to the statue to observe it. Statue looks different. Investigate? Okay, you can continue extinction. Nice. That's fine. This guy? Descendithus? Looks like Carapac. No, not Carapac. Sorry about your father. Unwilling servant, much kinder than the real word. Do they not want to use the word slave? That's come up before. Practice several casual phrases about the weather. They really make the whole don't send Hannibus to die thing. That's canon, apparently. Which is surprising to me. It feels like the less satisfying conclusion to that quest. Effigy Incubator would revolutionize information storage. Effigies are more than just collections of data. They're capable of growth. Limited form of consciousness. I think I can store effigies in the Brooch of the Gods, which I've had forever. Can I help? Me working with the person who enslaved my own father. Okay, play the tutorial. Have to talk to him again? House the materials. We use an effigy casing. Pile of scrap metal is what we need to be a proficient smith. Okay, invention knowledge, crafting, rune crafting. Okay, so just like get all of those things, I guess. Oh. Weird. One is enough. Okay. Okay. So there's the effigy casing, and then I pick something else, I guess. So probably smithing, I guess. Can I just get something from all of them? I'll let it go here. Oh. As you chip a material, the following appears. Effigy remnant. Harvest while you can. Oh, okay, it's like a blessing, sort of. Talk to Sendithus. Okay. Carapac's workbench. Explosive effigy uncharged. Valves modify the energy flow in the incubator. Turn the orange valve. Okay. Red. I see green. Right behind you, dude. Come on. Red. Okay, the machine's calibrated. Whatever. Keep an eye on the effigies will they incubate for you. Let it. For my teachings, I'll keep that effigy. Here's an example you receive when collecting your own. Example incubated effigy. That's it. I have to read about this. This is like a daily I need to check in on. I should try to confirm that. It's a monthly. Oh, God. Sure. That's the end. Let me Google this activity to see if I even want to bother. I mean, I might want the smithing XP, and I guess they're adding 110 crafting, and 110 runecraft is out, so let me look into it. This honestly seems too annoying to be worth it. There's like a timing component where you have to do it pretty quickly. I don't think I even want to bother. Let's just do Desperate Creatures. And this is another thing that probably shouldn't be a quest. It's actually a quest too, not a mini quest, which is even weirder, I think. Okay. Sure. What do I need to do? Basic flora. Okay. Western Anachronia. Giving me a number of paces to walk. like down by the... I think it's down there. Here? Question mark? Okay. I just do this? This is very strange. It's just like spam clicking. It doesn't seem like it gives you any like lore for the flowers you're finding or anything, so I guess I'll just do this. How odd though. Cannabis and Vindicta are chatting? Okay. I think I could still just go fight Vindicta as much as I want. Okay. Get these back to curate. Off we go. Desperate creatures. Talk about your progress. Okay. Larger flora, shrubbery. Is this really the whole quest? Okay. I don't think picking up these shrubberies is particularly interesting. Supposed to be a shrubbery under his desk or something? Don't see anything. There's good and there's bad. Focus on the distant past. Guess did Orthan not launch with lots of locations to sift through? I'm not sure. Okay. Back to the curator. I'm sensing a pattern here. Just give me the task, man. Fungi. And I'll come back once I get whatever the next dialogue is, assuming it keeps the pattern. Are you fucking kidding me? Charos is just chilling out here? Alright. What are you doing? Waiting? Just hanging out? Do you spend much of your time waiting around? All right, man. Ma created them as toys. Thank you, Charos. That's... The game seems to know that that's weird, but it's really weird. Assume he's just going to say it with no... There's going to be no commentary on the stuff I'm bringing to him, and then I'm going to have to click him again to get the next stage. Yeah. Insects. All right. Probably already included this in the intro, but I'm not going to treat this quest in Sins of the Father as quests. They're mini quests. I don't know why they didn't label them as such, but they're definitely not quests. I'll say, what wacky character are we running into this time? Looks like it's Thok and Charos. There. Yeah. I want to be further away from them, I guess. how she'd appreciate something she could slay. Often I have wooed my paramours with potential murder. Lord and Lady Vandercrank. He's Polly, too.
Okay, I said I wasn't going to summarize these quests, but real quick, future Marstead weighing in. Do you see what I mean about them, like, trying to sell Charos a little bit too hard here? Like, I'm completely fine. I think it's even funny if he's, like, not just a ladies' man, but a man's man, too, and he's, like, seducing a couple. Great character beat, love pansexual, super suave spy guys, right? He just strikes me as a you know, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons and the DM decides to introduce a DM PC, a character that the dungeon master created who's like super powerful and way more interesting than everybody else? That's what Charos feels like. He's too perfect to me. Not only is he a super mage and a super spy and an inventor and an engineer, he also just fucks everybody, apparently. I was about to click render on this video when K5 Josh made a really funny point about Charos. Imagine if in the Thok mini-saga, instead of Charos just going around and contradicting Thok constantly, they did like a Rashomon thing where we see the exact same story from Thok's perspective and Charos' perspective. And then from Charos' perspective, he just over-exaggerates how suave he is the entire time. Like he like seduces the dinosaurs into submission and seduces Carapac, right? That would be funny, actually. But like K5 Josh points out, it would require them to be willing to make fun of their DM PC, who's like super cool and awesome. I think that's part of the get to the good part-itis problem that I have. That you gotta spend some time getting us to like Charos. You can't just like assume that we're gonna think he's awesome immediately because you think he's awesome. You have to be a little bit self-deprecating. What they're doing by pairing him with Thok is smart from a storytelling perspective. It's kind of a wrestling concept, right? In wrestling, sometimes you have a new wrestler who you're trying to get the audience to like. You make him lose to somebody more powerful. This happened all the time on Star Trek, where Worf would constantly be losing to the new aliens, so we could see that the aliens are so strong they can even beat Worf. So we're pairing Charos with Thok so that Thok's cool factor can rub off on Charos. But like, you can't make Charos annoying compared to Thok. Unfortunately, their pairing just makes me dislike Charos a lot more because of the way he's annoying and not charming or funny. To continue the wrestling comparison, it's like when they try to book a wrestler to beat a much more powerful wrestler, and it's like super obvious that it's not earned, and the audience is annoyed and starts booing them. That's how I feel. I'm booing you, Charos. Boo. I'm not booing the concept of a Charos. In fact, I think if you had a Rashomon thing where like Charos is seducing the dinosaurs and seducing Carapac, that would be extremely funny, but that's not what they did. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Being literal again, aren't you? There are some women. Always ask first. This is a little bit funnier. I still find Charos kind of annoying. Everyone loves bunnies. Don't kill Thok. All right, we got like one more of these, I think. 4 frogs. Where does this one start? One's pretty far out of the way. It's a little annoying. Actually, I ran out of run energy, something that has happened fewer than 100 times in all of my time playing RS3. I gotta get all the way in there, and there's... Okay, here's the opening, I see. Grandma Potterington is here, it looks like. Collecting frogs for Saren. Was that it? Did you have an important conversation for me to eavesdrop on? A major revelation? Ominous foreshadowing about the future of Gielinor? Sarah? Okay. I think that's it. That was weird. I don't know why they made that a quest. Desperate creatures. Okay. Back to the council. Yes, I am here to complete the curator's tasks. It's really funny that they're all here forever.
Everyone's just like a follower of hers now. Okay, there's so much shadow anima. Yeah, no kidding. I only call the council together rarely. I don't know, they kind of seem to be standing here all the time and like worship you. You could just like send a letter or something, or have me represent you. The Elder Eggs. Okay. Oh, is it going to be these super elder gods? I was mostly just joking. All right. Turn this in. Okay. I guess this used to be just like a lore activity. Whatever, it's fine. Next is Raksha the Shadow Colossus. I think this is starting an era where whenever they add a new boss fight, they try to have a quest to introduce it, which I kind of like that. It'd be nice if we had quests to introduce all of the other boss fights, to be honest. Talk to Laniakia. Okay. What's up? Is it the doorway at the top of the ruins? The time for caution and patience is over. Okay, I'm back from a game crash. New form of toxin. Charos? Yeah, I did see him weirdly standing around when he handed me a mushroom. May have fallen a little bit from grace. Can we open the door somehow? Fusion of the same energy Carapac's device was generating to unlock. Siphon shadow anima from the pools around the ruins? Alright. The sooner they drop this shadow anima shit, the better. I think it's very stupid. These things? Alright, I guess you don't need to watch this. Funny, you have to keep siphoning from the same 3, but they didn't make 5, but you can't repeat the same one multiple times. Just like add 2 more. I don't get it. Unlock the door. Okay. A massive concentration of shadow anima. I'm glad we added a new kind of anima. Our anima is already very stupid, and I don't care about it. The Keeper? What are you doing, Zaros?
Millennia ago,
No.
Gillinol was an untouched, unspoiled wilderness. Only plants and animals lived there, untroubled by language or industry. A handful of elder artifacts had been discarded by the elder gods. One of these was the Codex, a repository of both knowledge and power. When a great beast came across the strange monolith, it couldn't know what awaited. It emerged from the Codex fundamentally changed. It was a Colossus, an animal demigod, the ultimate apex predator.
Okay.
Unchallenged.
It's a palette
When the
swapped
Dragon King arrived,
Rex.
they were fascinated by the creature. They found it, captured it, and imprisoned it in their city. They called it Raksha. Nothing quite like it has been seen before or since. It was not just a Colossus, but a shadow Colossus. Its power came not from the Elder
It was a
Gods,
shadow of the Colossus.
but from somewhere else. To the priest Kranon, it was a religious inspiration, the source of his heresy.
Oh,
The
that's
scientist,
the ambassador, right?
took a very different line of inquiry. He experimented until the beast was of no more use to him. I recommend that you do not allow it to leave the complex. The damage it could inflict is considerable.
Isn't it imprisoned? Okay. You got a little shadow anima container. I don't have any gear, so hopefully they don't actually want me to do that. Oh, that's it. Alright, need to have a little cutscene to introduce the fight for the first time. I think we'll wrap there, and then I'll do Violet is Blue 2 next time.
That'll wrap this one. Next week, we're going to go ahead and do Violet is Blue 2, The Vault of Shadows, Total Combat, and Heartstealer. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, if I'm going to have time to fit in Azanadra's quest. I'm a little bit annoyed that it seems like they keep up-jumping holiday quests to actual quests now. I guess the original Violet is Blue was quite good, but now we're doing another one, and we're up-jumping a Valentine's Day quest, so maybe it's good. We'll see. Very much in the home stretch here. As a reminder, after I finish the quest cape, I'm going to spend just a couple episodes doing some endgame PVM, so I'm a little bit more prepared to talk about it for the video essay. If there's some piece of content that you really think I should do, or at least try once before the playthrough is over, let me know in the comments. I did a ton of PVM in old school RuneScape. I don't think I need to do that much to be able to talk about RS3 at least abstractly, right? But if you think there's some other kind of endgame skilling or PVM encounter that would be really valuable for me to know about at least a little bit, let me know. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.